We are live right now. Let me just go in and make sure that the sound is okay. We have that. Let me make sure the audio is still sounding good. All right. Let me know if you can hear me, if you can hear the keyboard. And then we are just going to check on here. I'll go into the private Facebook group page and then, hold on, let's test that. On here, I'll go into the private Facebook group page and then, hold on, let's test that on here. Okay. Good. That's sounding pretty good. I'm going to turn that down and mute that. Hopefully everyone is doing well. It has been a few weeks since I have done one of these live piano lessons, and usually this is right now I'm doing this for, of course, the private group for those who have signed up for and purchased the Essential Piano Exercise course. But today I'm also streaming this on my YouTube channel and some of my Facebook groups because I have a few special announcements that I wanted to make, and I wanted to make this available for everyone. So whether you are watching this in the Zoom link as one of the course members right now for the Essential Piano Exercise course, or whether you are watching on my YouTube channel or one of my Facebook group pages, we're going to have some special announcements, and I'm really excited to announce that. And I apologize, I haven't been posting any live videos the past few weeks. I have been in bed, sick, for almost 2 weeks, literally in bed, not getting out of bed. And I'm better now. Everything's great, but it was kind of a shock to my system. I'm okay. Everything's good, but I was not able to do anything. So I was not able to film anything, obviously. But let me know if you can hear everything, if you can hear the piano. Let me know if you can hear the piano. Let me know if you can hear the audio, if everything sounds okay. But one of the announcements that I wanted to make to everyone who is watching this right now is about my Essential Piano Exercise course and my Essential Piano lessons that I am creating and that I am doing every single week. On Thursdays, we have the Essential Piano Lessons. If you go to essentialpianolessons.com, then we have weekly piano lessons where I teach all of my cool songs from my Cool Songs series. Yep, everything sounds great. Perfect. Thank you so much. So my book, Cool Songs for Cool Kids, Primer Level, Book 1, Book 2, Book 3, Cool Songs That Rock. I created an Essential Piano Lessons series. And if you go to essentialpianolessons.com, you can learn more about that. But essentially what it is, we have 3 separate piano lessons I teach every Thursday. So I teach a beginner level piano, and these are group online piano lessons. I teach a beginner level piano lesson, and it is known as the apprentice stage. And then I teach an early intermediate, well, late beginner to intermediate level piano lesson, and that is known as the maestro stage. And then I teach an intermediate to advanced level, and that is known as the virtuoso stage. So if you go to essentialpianolessons.com, you can learn more about those weekly group online piano lessons. But here is the big announcement that I'm making for everyone before we start teaching modal jazz, which is what I'm going to be teaching today. We're going to be focusing on modal jazz from my book, Essential Jazz Piano Exercises. I'm going to show you about the modes, and we're going to talk about how to play around with modal jazz. But the big announcement I'm going to make, I have 2. One is that everyone who has already purchased the Essential Piano Exercise course, and you can learn more about the Essential Piano Exercise course by going to essentialpianoexercises.com/course, or just essentialpianoexercises.com. It explains about the course there as well. But anyone who has already purchased the course, I am going to give you a year worth of access to these weekly online piano lessons. And you can access all three. They're on Thursdays. It's the weekly group online piano lesson where you will be able to access either the beginner level, which is my apprentice stage, or the maestro stage or the virtuoso stage. You'll have access to all of those weekly video lessons if you have already purchased the Essential Piano Exercise course. Now, the next announcement is anyone who buys the Essential Piano Exercise course, and again, just go to essentialpianoexercises.com/course. If you buy that course in the month of October, I will give you access to a year's worth of weekly live piano lessons for free. So anyone during the month of October, if you go to essentialpianoexercises.com/course and you buy the course, it's $199.95 for the course, I will give you access to all of the weekly live piano lessons that I'm teaching that you can learn more about at essentialpianolessons.com. So that's a big announcement that I wanted to do. Now what I'm going to do, at the end, I'm going to tell you about a new album and book I'm coming out with that I'm really excited about, Peace and Serenity. But I'm going to go to the overhead view right now, and we're going to start working on modal jazz. So we're going to be using my book, Essential Jazz Piano Exercises, every piano player should know. So let me switch and go to the overhead view right now. First, I'll switch in Zoom. So I've switched in Zoom. Now I'm going to switch in, I have to switch separately for the different groups and different pages since I have several different programs that I'm working on right now. So let me go to this overhead view now. And again, we're going to be doing essential jazz piano exercises today. What we're going to be talking about is the modes, and we're going to be working on modal jazz. Now, in this book, and we have a lot of information in this book, but the modes actually I start teaching about the modes on page 98 from this book. If you have this book, you can turn to it right now, Essential Jazz Piano Exercises. If you don't have the book, I'm still going to be teaching you how to play with modes. But if you have the book, go to page number 98. Now, when we are talking about modes, we are talking about using scales within a scale. If I have a C major scale, that is my C major scale. Well, I don't have any sharps or flats. If I start on D and go from D to D, and I play all white keys, this is known as D Dorian. If I go from E to E and play all white keys, this is known as E Phrygian. If I go from F to F and play all white keys, that is known as F Lydian. If I go from G to G and play all white keys, that is known as G Mixolydian. If I go from A to A and I play all white keys, that is known as A Aeolian. If I go from B to B and I play all white keys, that is known as B Locrian. And then if I go from C to C and I play all white keys, that is known as C Ionian. We're just up an octave higher. So it's kind of fun as we start playing these. What I want you to practice now is doing seventh chords. And we've talked about seventh chords before. This is a C major seventh chord. I have a major triad, C major triad, with a major seventh interval. So if I have C, E, G, B, that's a C major seventh chord. If I move to the right, now I have D, F, A, C. That is a D minor seventh chord. If I move to the right again, now I have E, G, B, D. That is an E minor seventh chord. If I slide to the right again, this is an F major seventh chord. We have F, A, C, E. If I slide to the right again, now I have a G seventh chord, G, B, D, F. If I slide to the right again, now I have an A minor seventh chord, A, C, E, G. If I slide to the right again, now I have a B minor 7 flat 5 chord, B, D, F, A. And then if I slide to the right again, I have a C major 7th chord. So we're playing these 7th chords, and I have kind of flattened my fingers. Ordinarily, you would play them nice and round. I'm kind of flattening them because I want you to see the keys I am playing as we're moving to the right. See that? Those are 7th chords created from the C major scale. So now, if I take that C major 7th chord and I play it with a C Ionian, which is my C major scale, see that? I can just play different rhythms with my left hand. Some of these I'm doing offbeat syncopated rhythms, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 see that? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 so I'm just kind of jazzing things up a bit. Now if I slide to the right, now I'm playing the D minor 7th chord with my D Dorian mode. See that? Now with my right hand, I'm just going up and down. That's all I'm doing with my right hand. And with my left hand, I'm doing these offbeat syncopated rhythms. Well, with the right hand, I can keep going on. We did C Ionian and D Dorian. I can go to E Phrygian. I can go to F Lydian. I can go to G Mixolydian. I can go to Aeolian. I can go to B Locrian. And I can go back to C Ionian. So I can move up and I can move down as I am playing through everything. And it's kind of a fun way to go through and just see what you can come up with. Now, when you're playing with the modes, you can start to play around. Modal jazz is all about improvisation using the modes. And the nice thing is, I can start, if you notice, my right hand is just playing C Ionian, right? But my left hand, I'm moving up according to those 7th chords. A very simple pattern. We were only doing the C major scale or C Ionian mode, but my left hand is moving up. And all I did was C major 7th, D minor 7th, E minor 7th, F major 7th. See that? C major 7th, D minor 7th, E minor 7th, F major 7th. The right hand, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2. See, what we're doing is we are going through and we're playing modal jazz. We are improvising. Now, what modes do, modes create a mood, if you want to think of it like that. I could start on the 2. And a lot of times when we talk about modal jazz, we're talking about using jazz chord progressions like a 2, 5, 1. We've talked about this in previous videos. D minor 7th is the 2, G 7th is the 5, and then C major 7th is the 1. Now, in this book, Essential Jazz Piano Exercises Every Piano Player Should Know, which I want to thank everyone who is using this. This is in the top 20 best-selling jazz books on Amazon, and all of these books from the Essential Piano Exercise series, the 100 left-hand patterns every piano player should know, Essential Piano Exercises every piano player should know, Essential Jazz Piano Exercises every piano player should know, and my most recent book, Essential New Age Piano Exercises every piano player should know. All of these books were the #1 new release on Amazon in their various category, whether it was jazz or new age or whatever. And again, I apologize, my voice is sounding weird. I'm still trying to get over whatever sickness I had, where I was in bed for the past 2 weeks. But in this book, we present all of the modes, and we go through and have you try to play these modes in the key of C. And then starting on page 101 and moving on, we start doing some modal improvisation that we work on. Let me show you what I mean. So this is page 101 for those of you who have the book and are following along. Then we go to D Dorian, then E Phrygian, then F Lydian, then G Mixolydian. Now my left hand is just playing a whole note. See that? A Aeolian, B Locrian, C Ionian, and we're going up and down. That's page 101. Now, on page 102, we start incorporating the 2-5-1 jazz chord progression, which we start doing about page 80 in the book. We start going over all these 2-5-1 jazz chord progressions, but now we start incorporating the 2 with the 5, and here's my 5, the G7th, but we're inverting it. Here's first inversion and second inversion. So 2-5-1. See that right there? Now we start incorporating the mode. This is on page 102 in the book Essential Jazz Piano Exercises Every Piano Player Should Know. See that? And that's all we were doing. We were doing a D Dorian, so D minor 7th, and then D Dorian mode with the right hand, and then a G 7th / D because it's inverted, root, first, second inversion, see that? But then the right hand goes to the G, and we do a G Mixolydian mode, and then down here we go to the C major 7th when we hit that G, and then we play C Ionian with the right hand. Does that make sense? Hopefully I'm not confusing people. And then pages 102 and 103, I have the chord progression that I've written out with the left hand, but the right hand I left blank because I want you to start to improvise. Now, what do I mean by improvise with these modes? Well, we're following the notes from the mode, but you can play the notes in any order you want. You can play in any rhythm you want. What if I did 2-5-1 with my left hand as it's written out, but with the right hand, and again I started improvising the rhythm. I'm still doing 2-5-1, but instead of holding it as a whole note and then holding the next one as a whole note, which is what we did in the warm-up as a great way to practice doing this, this is a great way to start. But then I want you to start to play around. If you notice, I'm still using those notes. The notes for the D Dorian mode, we have D through D, just playing all the white keys, but I can play them in any order. I don't have to go in order, moving up according to the mode. I can go out of order Sorry, I started throwing in some crush notes there, which you can start to do as well. I can go to the G and do G Mixolydian, but I can start throwing some crush notes there. I can go from C to C and do C Ionian. If you notice, I'm starting to play around. So I'm taking this chord progression of the D Dorian with the G Mixolydian and the C Ionian, and we're starting to play around. That is what I'm wanting you to do. And that is what that's what this book, Essential Jazz Piano Exercises Every Piano Player Should Know, and that is what the course, Essential Piano Exercises Every Piano Player Should Know, the essentialpianoexercises.com. The course is designed to teach you how to take the music theory and start to play around with it. On the next page, on page 104 from the book, we start to play around with the C major 7th, D minor 7th, E minor 7th, F major 7th, G 7th, A minor 7th, B minor 7 flat 5, and C major 7th. Again, we're moving up according to the major scale. We're just moving to the right. So as I'm playing this, now we're swinging the eighth notes, of course. See that? That is all we are doing. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1, 2, 3, 4. See, we're moving up and then we're moving back down. And we're playing around with these modes, and we're just doing C Ionian, D Dorian, E Phrygian, F Lydian, G Mixolydian, A Aeolian, B Locrian, and C Ionian. Do you want to learn a great way to memorize the order of the modes? If we go back to page 98, again from the book Essential Jazz Piano Exercises, I introduce students to a phrase I came up with, and it says, I don't play like my Aunt Louise. Pretend you have some aunt named Louise. She is amazing. She is phenomenal, and you don't know how she does it. She can play anything on the piano, any style, any genre, any key, and you don't know how Aunt Louise does it, but you want to do it. So I tell students, I don't play like my Aunt Louise. And then I explain I equals Ionian. I, Ionian, don't, Dorian, play, Phrygian, and Phrygian starts with a P, P-H-R-Y, Phrygian, like Lydian, my, Mixolydian, Aunt, Aeolian, Louise, Locrian. I don't play like my Aunt Louise. And it goes in order. And in the book, I explain the whole and half steps, and I explain even how to create it. You know, Ionian is your major scale. Dorian, from the major scale, you take the third and the seventh intervals down half a step. On page 99, I explain how to create each one. Phrygian, from the major scale, you actually are going to take the major second, major third, major sixth, and major seventh down half step. So in the book, you can see, and I've kind of demonstrated and shown you how you can actually create these. But it's a great way to learn the modes. It's simple. I don't play like my Aunt Louise. I don't play like my Aunt Louise. And then you're back to Ionian. And it follows every major scale. So if I'm in the key of G major, in the key of G major, we have one sharp, it's an F sharp. So I would say the phrase, I don't play like my Aunt Louise, and then back to Ionian again. And I can just follow and play the scale. G major scale, that's G Ionian. If I start on A and go from A to A and play all white keys except for F sharp according to the G major scale, remember, I don't. So this would be A Dorian. If I start here and go from B to B and play all white keys except for F sharp, I don't play. This is Phrygian mode. So that's B Phrygian. I don't play like. This would be C Lydian mode. I don't play like my Mixolydian mode. I don't play like my aunt Aeolian. If you notice, Aeolian is the relative minor to G major. See, here's the G major scale. E minor is the relative minor to G major. So Aeolian is your relative minor. Remember, I don't play like my aunt Louise is the Locrian mode. Okay, Locrian, you can think diminished, you can think whatever you want for different steps, but in the book I go through and explain about this. Now, the reason why we go over the modes is we can start to improvise. What if we talked about doing a 2-5-1, 2-5-1. See that? So we're doing 2-5-1. That is what we are going through and playing as we are doing this. All right. 2-5-1. It's pretty simple, but what if I said we only want to do a 2-2 chord progression? So here's a 2. That's a minor 7th chord. Well, I could start playing C minor 7th, and I could go through every key and just play all of the minor 7th chords. Watch, here's a D minor 7th. What if I went to an F minor 7th? What if I went to an E minor 7th? What if I went to an E flat minor 7th? What if I played a C minor 7th, D minor? Do you see what I'm doing? I'm only playing a minor 7th chord with my left hand. Well, the minor 7th chord with my left hand, minor 7th chord goes with a Dorian mode. Okay, that's D Dorian mode. Well, to create the Dorian mode on page 99, I say you take the 3rd and the 7th from your major scale. So if I have a D major scale, I have 2 sharps, F sharp and C sharp. Well, if I take the 3rd and the 7th intervals and I go down half a step, I create Dorian mode. So this would be D Dorian right there. I got ahead of myself. So if I go to C and I apply the same pattern starting on C, the 3rd and the 7th intervals, if I go down half a step, this becomes C Dorian. See that? What if I go to, let's say I go to G as an example. Well, my 3rd and my 7th is right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Remember, they said to take the 3rd and 7th. In the book, I say to take the 3rd and 7th down half a step. So now this is G Dorian. I can do it in any key. So watch, if I play a minor 7th chord with my left hand, then with my right hand I can play a Dorian mode. D Dorian mode. What if I go to F Dorian? So I'll play an F minor 7th chord with my left hand. I'll play F Dorian with the right hand. What if I go to E Dorian? Well, I'll play an E minor 7th chord with my left hand, and I will play, remember how we talked about you take the 3rd and the 7th down half a step, okay? See, I can do this in any key and just play around. It doesn't matter where I go. And it's fun because then you can start playing the notes in any order. Now, I started throwing in some 2 and 5 chords in there as we're playing around with different things. But it's fun to take these chords and start to play around with them. It's modal improvisation. For now, what I want you to do, first off, is learn the names of the modes. I don't play like my Aunt Louise. C Ionian, D Dorian, E Phrygian. Okay. See, what we are doing is trying to get the different modes and trying to have the modes be such that you can actually go through and create. Okay, hold on. Let me have to change a setting here for a second. We're trying to create these patterns. But first you need to know what the modes are before you can start playing around with them. So remember, Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, Locrian, and then you're back to Ionian. Just remember, I don't play like my Aunt Louise. And you can do that in any key. Let me show you what you can start to do with the modes as we start going through. And in this book, Essential Jazz Piano Exercises Every Piano Player Should Know, we cover the modes in great depth. And we talk about improvisation, where if I turn the page a few pages, on page 105, we start talking about like a whole half-half left-hand walking bass pattern. And we do it following the 2-5-1 chord progression. So we start on 2 and do a whole step, half step, half step. Then we go to the 5, which is G, whole step, half step, half step. Then we go to C and do whole step, half step, half step. And we repeat it. So we're doing a 2, 5, 1. Now, right now, I'm on page 106 from Essential Jazz Piano Exercises Every Piano Player Should Know. And again, this is teaching the practical application of modal jazz. If I'm doing a whole half-half left-hand walking bass pattern with my left hand, with the right hand, I can play the chords, but I can also start to play around with the modes. Let me just play what is written here on page 106. I'll play what is there first, and then I'll play around with it. See, we're doing different inversions. And then we go down an octave, and we still follow this whole half-half left-hand walking bass pattern on page 107. But now the right hand, I start taking the chords and I break them apart. All we are doing, it's the practical application of playing around with the modes and the 2-5-1 chord progression. I was just playing right here on page 106 and 107, a little modal jazz improvisation example that I created to show you the practical application of learning this music theory. And again, it's just from Essential Jazz Piano Exercises Every Piano Player Should Know. But once you start to know those chords and you know your modes, and again, for now, I'm just focusing on D Dorian, and then G, Mixolydian, and C Ionian. 2, 5, 1. Remember we talked about I don't play like my Aunt Louise. Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian. I don't play like Lydian. I don't play like my Mixolydian. I don't play like my Aunt Aeolian. I don't play like my Aunt Louise, Locrian, and then we're back to Ionian again. For now, we're just focusing on 2, 5, 1. So 2 is Dorian, 5 is Mixolydian, and 1 is Ionian. 2, 5, 1. With the left hand, you can play the 2, the 5, and the 1. It's a simple 2, 5, 1 chord progression is what we are doing. And again, even when I start doing the whole half-half left hand walking bass pattern with my left hand, I can still stick with the 2, 5, 1. D Dorian, G Mixolydian, C Ionian. Now, what was I doing there? I was going down and I was using essentially the notes from the chromatic scale. Chromatic just means half step. So I'm moving up in half steps, playing every single key on the piano. But I changed the order. If you notice, I did C, A, and then I went to the B flat. Okay? And I just started going down. See how you can start to play around with the order. So I'm doing C, A, B flat, B natural, G, A flat, A natural, F, F sharp or G flat, depending on how you want to call it, G natural, E, F. See, and I'm just going down. But the trick is to continue doing that movement going down while the left hand is following this pattern of whole step, half step, half step, whole step, half step, half step, and then going down to the C, whole step, half step, half step. Now, I will be honest with you. The left hand is doing quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I do make it look easier than it really is. It's a much more challenging approach. But if I'm doing this, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and see how I'm doing that? Eighth notes with the right hand. But I did it much faster. And then I just went up doing the chromatic scale. See that? It's a little trick that you can do. incorporating the 2, 5, 1 as you're playing it. And I'm still doing D Dorian, G Mixolydian, C Ionian. If you want, instead of doing quite the complicated pattern that we did going down before, you can just do white keys. That's kind of an easier version. We're doing simple thirds, C, A, B, G, A, F, G, E. I'm just moving down in thirds, but we're kind of swinging those eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 see that? And I'm just playing around, okay? We're moving quite a bit, going up and going down, okay? But it's fun to play around as we are, and we can, for right now, I've only been doing 2, 5, 1 in the key of C. But we can go into any key. For now, we've just been focusing on key of C major, where we do the 2, the 5, and the 1. And of course, we're doing that simply so we can start to work into other key signatures. And that is the key where we can go through and play around with that. And it's kind of fun to go through and just play and have fun going through and doing that. Let's see some of the comments. Everything sounds good. Thank you. Você toca muito, Simon. Thank you. Obrigado. That's Portuguese. That was that one language. So as we're going through and doing this, that is what we are playing as we are going through and doing this. Okay? So for those of you maybe who are watching who speak Portuguese, maybe I should do some segments in Portuguese or Spanish, but I don't want to eliminate the English speakers as well. But it's a fun pattern that we can do. And again, we're focusing on 2, 5, 1. And primarily, this entire lesson is just what we've been working on from my book, Essential Jazz Piano Exercises. And we started on page 84. We were showing some examples. And then we just started going up through page 109. In the book, we have 280 pages in the book, so there's quite a bit in there. But that is what we will work on. Let me come back here to the front view for a second. I'll change it first here with the Zoom lesson, and then I'll come back and I have to change it with YouTube and Facebook and all the other platforms so we can get all the different angles. But thank you guys for watching just this free video tutorial. And again, the major announcement that I had made at the beginning of this lesson, ordinarily the first Friday of every month, I do this lesson, and it's part of the monthly live group piano lesson that we do for everyone who has purchased the Essential Piano Exercise course. So today I did it for YouTube and Facebook to let everyone else see what kind of lessons we are working on within the course. And we have additional video lessons that we've filmed and more that we are filming. We're continually adding more and more video lessons and all of the different books that I come out with inside the course. And the announcement I had made earlier at the start of this lesson is that everyone who has already joined the course, I am going to grant you access to my new Essential Piano Lesson series, which every Thursday I have weekly group online piano lessons that I teach. Now we have 3 separate stages or phases. One is known as the apprentice stage. One is known as the maestro stage for more late beginner to intermediate level. And then one is known as the virtuoso stage for intermediate to advanced. And what I am doing is I'm going to give everyone who has already purchased the Essential Piano Exercise course, which is a one-time payment of $199.95. Everyone who's purchased the course, I'm going to give you a year's worth of free access to these essential piano lessons. That means that from now until next, I'll even go clear until next December of next year, we will give everyone these free weekly piano lessons. And just to let you know what a great deal this is, just by buying the course for the one-time payment of $199.95, these essential piano lessons that I do every single week, these group online piano lessons, the beginner level, it starts at $49.95 for the month, where you get 4 30-minute piano lessons, live piano lessons, and they're group piano lessons, but it's every single week, up to the virtuoso stage where you get, it's $99.95 per month is what it costs to do that. And I'm giving a year's worth of free access to everyone who has already purchased the Essential Piano Exercise course. Also, anyone who buys the Essential Piano Exercise course in the month of October, from now until the end of the month, I will give you access, a year of free access to weekly piano lessons that you can have with me. So you don't have to spend $100 per month to access all of these weekly live group piano lessons that I do. And you can learn more about those group piano lessons. It's essentialpianolessons.com. You can learn about those. But if you buy the course, essentialpianoexercises.com/course, then anyone who has purchased the course already or who buys the course by the end of this month, I will give you access to our weekly group online piano lessons for a year for free. So it's something that I'm doing right now, and I've never done it before, but something that I wanted to do just as a great incentive for people. Also, something fun that I wanted to quickly announce at the end, since we're at the end of this, I wanted to let everyone know about a new album and book that I'm coming out with. It is Peace and Serenity. And I've talked about this a little bit, but let me show you, and I'm going to share my page here in a second so that you can see examples and listen to examples from my new book and album, Peace and Serenity. This is actually going to be coming out in 2 weeks. The book was just uploaded to Amazon, so it's up on Amazon. But let me share my screen here, and you can see what I'm talking about. I'm going to play just a few little clips from my new book and album, Peace and Serenity. For those of you who live in Utah, I'm going to have a free workshop at Bountiful Music in Bountiful, Utah, next Saturday on October the 9th at 10 a.m. Anyone is invited to come. I will also be streaming that if anyone would like to. Is the new album meditation music? Yes. Let me share my screen and I'll show you some samples. The book, this is what my books look like before they go to print, okay? And so they start off as just the sheet music, and then I get into book format. It's piano music. It's relaxing piano music that is very calming and gentle, and it's peace and serenity. The book and album actually is going to be debuted on October 15th. You'll be on Spotify, Pandora, iTunes, iHeartRadio, all the different sites. But let me share my screen so you can actually see what I'm talking about with this. Let me come over here. I'm going to share this page right here so you can listen to some of these samples. The album actually has, oh, and let me share it on YouTube and Facebook and everywhere else, the album actually has a lot of different sounds and a lot of different music. We have guitars, we have strings, we have some keyboard synth sounds. So hold on, I actually have two separate browsers that I have open, so I need to open a separate browser for those of you who are watching through YouTube. And okay, hold on. All right, hold on, I need to quickly go through and make sure I have this. I'm going to authorize. Okay. All right. Okay. Give me one quick second, and then it will allow me to share on YouTube as well, so everyone can see what they're seeing in the Zoom page. I just have two separate browsers open, and I didn't realize I had to share on the other browser. All right. Now I can share on this page as well. Let me just quickly share my screen so you can see what I am seeing right here. Okay. There we go. All right, so everyone should be seeing my screen now. And on my screen, excuse me, I'm still trying to get over the sickness I've had. On my screen, I have what the album looks like, Peace and Serenity. And the book cover looks similar to that, but it also has the piano from my Essential Piano Exercise book series. So this is what this looks like and sounds like. Let me just play this. Let me know if you can hear that. This is just a sample. So that is showing Guiding Star. And as you notice, it's the piano mixed with the classical guitar. We have strings, we have all of these different sounds. And I composed these, many of them thinking of massage therapists, chiropractors, spas, holistic health practitioners. But the piano part is still fun that you can go along and play. So this is just showing you a sample Seasons from Peace and Serenity. This is Essence of Nature. So just showing you a few samples that you can listen to. Kind of a fun album. And again, this new album, it will be live on Spotify, Pandora, iTunes, Amazon, iHeartRadio, all the different streaming sites. It will be available for streaming on the 15th of October. So this will be coming out soon. It is already, the piano book is already up on Amazon, but you're not able to buy it yet. I think it won't be available to purchase for another few days on Amazon. But this is just giving you a sampling of what the new album and book is like. If you know any, I'm sending out a lot of press releases, and I have a lot of different media covering the release of this new album and book. If you know anyone who has a blog or a vlog or a podcast and they would like to share about this release, I would love your help in spreading the word. Again, this new album and book will be coming out on October 15th. You know, that's sundown right there. This is Nocturnal Symphony. In the background, you hear all of these different sounds. They're nature sounds. Some are streams, some are nature sounds of the ocean or insects in the background. And so all of those, I recorded all of those out in nature. But it's just kind of a fun, very relaxing, peaceful, calming. Maybe not this one as much. This is 7 C's. This is a little more upbeat. But it's just because the guitar is playing 16th notes. See that? And then the last one is Enchanted Spring. I forgot to stop the sounds that were being played, and that hopefully that did not hurt anyone's eardrums. I apologize if it did. But that is what I am going to be coming out with. That is the new album. So again, just wanted to announce the new album and book that will be coming out October 15th. I would love your help in spreading the word and sharing it. If you would like to, I would love to even send you the MP3 where you can listen to it. Like I said, the album is coming out on the 15th of October. I would love to have, if you know anyone who would like to, and whether they are Reiki masters, spas, massage therapists, chiropractors, I would love your help and love their help in spreading the word if they would like to write about it. But let me know what you think. And again, the new announcement I made at the beginning of this video, anyone who has already purchased my Essential Piano Exercise course, I am going to give them 1 year's worth of free access to my Essential Piano Lessons series, where I go through and teach. You can go to essentialpianolessons.com. I go through and teach all of these books every single week. And so I'm giving that away for free to everyone who has already signed up for and purchased my Essential Piano Exercise course, or anyone who buys the course from now until the end of October. I'm going to give you a year's worth of free weekly online group piano lessons. Just go to essentialpianoexercises.com/course, and you can learn more about the course that I'm doing. And it's $199.95. It's a one-time payment. Then you have access to all of the different music books that I have created so far, plus my motivation self-help books, plus I've been going through and creating video lessons for all of the different books that I have already, in addition to the weekly video lessons that we're coming out with, plus the monthly group private group piano lessons that we do within the private group Facebook or on Zoom. So let me know if you have any questions. You can leave a comment. Give this video a thumbs up. If you're on YouTube or Facebook, you can share it with family and friends. Let me know if you have any questions about anything, and hopefully the little lesson that we did today teaching you about modes and modal improvisation from my book, Essential Jazz Piano Exercises, hopefully that helped give you a better understanding of the modes. Remember, first learn the modes in order. Think, I don't play like my Aunt Louise. I is Ionian, don't Dorian, play Phrygian, like Lydian, my Mixolydian, Aunt Aeolian, and Louise Locrian. Those are the modes. Now, in the book, you can start to learn those modes, and then you can start to play around. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have a great weekend. And for those of you already within the course who have purchased the course, every week within the private Facebook group, I'm going to be sharing 1 or 2 video lessons. I haven't been doing that for about 3 weeks, again, because for the past 2 weeks I've been in bed sick, and I haven't been able to even get out of bed. But I'm better now. I still sound kind of weird, so I apologize about my voice. But we're going to start doing a lot of those videos where we have those weekly little video lessons, piano fundamentals, that we share within the private Facebook group for those who've purchased the Essential Piano Exercise course. And everyone who has purchased the course, I would love to receive a video testimonial from you that we can share on the website page for the course. Many of you have shared a video testimonial already, but for everyone else, I would love to receive a video testimonial from you that we can include on the website. And it'll be great to have more and more members. We already have members within the course from, I think, 25 countries around the world. It may even be up to 27 now, because we had a few more that joined yesterday and the day before from countries that we haven't had already. So I think 27 countries around the world, which is fantastic. So thank you guys to everyone who has joined the course. And let me know if you have any questions. Again, you can go to essentialpianoexercises.com/course if you want to join the course. You can also go to essentialpianolessons.com to learn more about my weekly group online piano lessons that I teach. But thank you guys for watching. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. See you guys. Bye. All right.